so too is the neshama pure. Ma'akash Baruch Hu Yoshev Behadere Hadarim, just like God sits. Again, this is very difficult to understand. In rooms within rooms. Af neshama Yoshev Behadarim Behadarim. Again, so do the neshama sits in rooms within rooms. The idea being, this is not the Gemara here, so one wants to look in the Farshim, you can look in the Ben Yehoyada, the Maharsha, to explain this Agadeta, to explain this Agadic story. But the point of it being is that there are things which the soul is trying to mimic godliness, and I think the one of them that we read is that just as God nourishes the entire world, so too the soul nourishes the body. This is a very interesting concept. Again, that's the concept of being the ultimate giver. Another point that we read was that the soul, just like as God is seen and not observes, and is not seen, is not detected, so too the soul observes and is not detected. The soul goes into the body, and again, this seems obvious, but we should say it out. The soul goes into the body, and her job is really the job of the female. It says kvod malka pnima. The honor of the princess is inside. Some people might take this as a sexist term, meaning, hey, you're preaching inequality. You're saying that women should be in the home. Fools understand it just as piyat pshat. I think Rav Mansur said one time, whenever you understand something only a piyat pshat, pshat is spelled pei shin tav. It's the same letters as tipesh, as a fool. Patient, right? Tipesh. So the idea is that actually, who is the Malka Pnima? Who is the inner? Who is the Kvod Malka? Who is the honor of the princess? Is, of course, like we just said before, the soul. The soul is called the princess. So where is she found? She's found Pnima. She's found in the home, meaning the home is called the body. So her mission is to go undetected and to give the body the greatest good it can get, which is what? Which is to try to get it to figure out how to turn it to godliness. Because the best thing that the guf can get, and the Ramchal brings us down in other Sfarim, that the ultimate gift is tchiyat hametim, tchiyat hamesim, however it's easy to understand it. Tchiyat hametim is the revival of the dead. The revival of the dead is an interesting concept. It means that the body is resurrected. Again, the body itself is just clay. It's just dumb. However, when the soul is fitted into it, when there's a shidduch, it becomes something. Again, a lot of these ideas are going to parallel also husband and wives. If a person learns this in the way it's supposed to be learned, he's going to pull out not only simple musar and ways to perfect his character trait, but also he's going to perfect his the feeling of his soul. He's going to be margish nishmato. He's going to be able to feel his soul, and also he's going to find marital bliss, as it says, because the soul and body are mimicking husband and wife. A lot of times, the wife, it says behind every strong man, right, is a great woman. And again, the problem is with these types of things, we can keep going on for hours and hours on two words. So we're going to try to cut it down to these concepts. So there's a pirsum that is mefursam to the neshama, but when she completes her mission and she has this guf so pure that the guf is able to come back in tchiyat hametim, is able to be revived, because it says in the days of tchiyat hametim only the purest of guf will be resurrected, because again there will only be purity in the world. Just like we said, God is pure, so is the neshama pure. So for the neshama to be in its maximum capacity inside this guf, the guf has to be a great vessel. And for it to do that, it has to have attained a level of purity. That's called the Pirsum Gadol. That's called the great Pirsum. That's called the great revelation. That's in the end of days, when the neshama is able to run itself through the body, and she now is able to reveal herself to the body. That's already called the highest level of unity. Okay, so again, why did God create this unification, in order for the soul to receive the greatest good, which is what? Which is the ability to mimic godliness. And we said in the Gemara Brachot, Yud Amud Aleph, right? In the art scroll, it's 10a4. We see that there's ways that the soul mimics God. And in order to do that, she has to be set up in the same way that God set up the world. That's why we call a person is called an Olam Katan, because just like in the world, in the real world, the big world, God runs it, but is quiet and is not seen. So too in the guf, the soul runs the guf, but she is not seen. In the end of the days, just as God will be revealed, so too will the soul be revealed. Okay. So that's the Pirsum. That's what's Yadua to her. She knows it, and it's Pirsum Etzla, right? She has the Pirsum, but the Pirsum Gadol will be Batid Lava. Okay, so again, that's up here higher level. Okay. כי לא תמצא ברוב דבריי אלא דברים שרוב בני האדם יודעים אותם ולא מסתפקים בהם כלל. So the Ramchal is saying that most of what I'm going to write here is nothing novel. אין חדש תחת השמש. Says Shlomo Melech. Nothing new. Rather, it's something that everyone already knows. They already have. They already understand that it's an important thing. Yodim otam. They know it. Again, whenever you say yodim, it's a very powerful word. Da'at is very powerful. We'll explore that in a minute. But again, I just want to highlight certain words so that if you're writing if you have a misilatyesharim in front of you, or you're writing, taking notes, there's certain words that when you go back and read it, you should pause and say, why is he using the word yodim? Why is he saying b'nei ha'adam, not b'nei adam? What's b'nei ha'adam? Again, there's certain secrets that can be said and certain ones that cannot. But again, I was just looking, even the mechaber. The word mechaber, mem chet beit resh. Mem and chet spell the word moach, and beis and resh, bet and resh is bar. Bar in Aramaic is son of, right? So we know that we are the son of God, right? And I mean, people. The neshama is called the son of God, right? And the purpose of her is to attain godly knowledge. So you see already the chibur is what? Is to bring into the bar, into the neshama, a moach, a godly intellect, which is the ability to become the ultimate giver. Okay, so that's just a small hint in what we said. So again, most people know this. Most people understand this. Most people reflect this ideas that he's about to tell us. However, they don't do them. Why? Because just as everything is so well known, right? The more something is well known, the more so too is their hiddenness and their forgetfulness. Again, he's using a lot of words here that we have to explore. We said that, again, the Ramchal is coming to tell us things that are known. People know them, but they don't do them. Why don't they do them? He just told us the hint. They don't do them because it's something it's known. However, because it's known, it remains hidden underneath the nose of a person. Because he feels that because I know them, as he will tell us a little later on, he says, because I know them, so I don't need to do them. Let me go delve into things that I don't know. Okay? Now, in the world, there is a force called evil. Evil is basically the pseudo absence of God. Now again, there's no such thing as called the absence of God. Of course, God is always there. But from man's perspective, God allows this concept called evil, which is the hiddenness. It hides the godly influence and the godly providence, that God is right there standing next to the person, right? Like it says that if a person would know the pasuk Sheviti Hashem lanegdi tamid, God is always in front of me. If he would know this pasuk, I mean, when I say know, I'm talking about the word da'at, as in internalize it. If he would internalize this concept, he would never be able to sin, because out of awe and reverence and fear of God. However, the evil, and this is why it says the real pasuk in the before Shema, we'd say Yotzer Or Uvore Choshech. The real pasuk actually is not Uvore Choshech, it's Ubara Ra, Uvore Ra, and he created evil. God has it, and it's brought down in the mystical writings that God he has to sustain evil in order for this world to exist. Again, this world is called Olam, Ayin Lamed Vav Mem. Olam comes from the word Ilm, Ayin Lamed Mem. The whole idea is to reveal what? To reveal the Vav. What's the Vav? And again, we're going on a lot of different topics, and a person has to have a lot of background. So we're trying to give it to it. We're trying to present it in a fashion that can be accessible to all. But the truth of the matter is, without a necessary background, a lot of these concepts are not going to be holding. We know that the word tzedakah, the mitzvah of tzedakah, excuse me, is a very big mitzvah, and in fact, actually, it's the mitzvah of the entire world. The entire world is runs on tzedakah, and the idea, the conceptual tzedakah is actually referred to in God's holy name of Yud, and then a K, which is a Hey, and then a Vav, and then another K, a Hey. So the books bring down, holy books bring down that the yud is a small coin. The first hay is the five fingers of the giver. The vav is the outstretched arm of the giver, which is positioning the coin into what? Into the last hay, which is the five fingers of the receiver. So the coin itself is very hard to understand, to receive, unless you find the forearm, the outstretched arm of the giver. So when I say the word vav, I'm referring to the outstretched arm of the giver. So the word ilim, ayin lamin mem, means hiddenness. But what is revealed in the world? Revealed in the world is when you're able to see who is giving you, who is the giver. Okay, so like this. Most of what's going to be in the world is going to be hiddenness. It's going to be uh, they're going to be what's called klipa. It's going to be hiding the kedusha. Most people know about them. Again, just as because the kedusha is there, it's not there. The kedusha is there. They know about it. However, because it's so obvious, meaning what do we see outside? We see the klipa, we see teva, we see nature. It's so easy to fall into a robotic sense of security and a false sense of security. Nature runs things. Nature, it's natural occurrence. Oh, if I would only have done this. The truth of the matter is that whatever you would have done, it wouldn't have worked anyway because God had planned it to be this way. So whether it's for what you perceive as to be good or bad, of course it's always good, but what you perceive, you would not have changed it. So sometimes a person failed the test and they say, if I would have studied more. No, if you would have studied more, you would have wasted more time of learning. You studied what you needed to study. Don't ever fall and fail yourself. Whenever a person says, if I would have only, that already implies that had they done more, then they would have determined the outcome. The outcome has been determined for you. All you need to do is to accept that you did not control the outcome. Okay? So it says, Sha'amititam geluya lakol. So again, the truth of the matter is, Kedusha is so obvious. It's even obvious to the evil forces. But what happens? Because it's so obvious, God can't reveal it so quickly. Because if it was revealed so easily, it would be incomprehensible. Think about it. When you spoil a child and you give him a Ferrari, and the next day you give him a Lamborghini. Eventually, a child loses interest in these things, and these become cheap thrills to him. Expensive, but cheap thrills to him. And he needs to go for a higher and higher and higher until he realizes that there is no thrills in the world. So basically, by giving so easily to the child, what the parent has done actually is to spoil the child. The more one spoils the child, the more of a loss of love he actually is engraving into the child. And thereby he is actually causing a detriment to the child. So some